Game audio.
That's unfortunate. Set. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah!
All right.
Go KRob.
All right. So this is Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. No major glitches. Basically, the story takes place. We have this character who is Zelda, whose uncle here is gonna wake us up out of our bed.
Zelda's a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna head out here, outside. You'll be seeing a little bit of peculiar movement along walls, which I'll be moving either north or west and mashing against the opposing wall in order to try to boost myself a couple frames. Because Link's movement north and west, it begins with 2 frames, or 2 pixels rather, goes to 1 and back to 2, and each iteration like that. And by mashing against the wall that I'm against, can reset it, so he'll go 2, then 2, then 2. It saves about 3 seconds over the run, so yeah, totally worth it.
Totally worth it.
Oh. So we'll be cruising along through here. Find out that his uncle is in fact injured. And now we have to go save the princess, whose name I don't know because it's in Japanese. Despite being obviously one of the most simplistic and straightforward dungeons in the game, it's actually quite common to die here, simply just because of the lack of heart containers you have. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Do you two want to introduce yourself, Sabil? No?
I don't know. You wanna take it away?
All right. I am Retro92.
And I am broke. I toasted my bank account on this run.
Yeah, that's definitely got nothing to do with those donations for Mutt, right?
Yeah, it's a good buy.
It's totally worth it.
Yeah. So I'm Mitako, as can be indicated by my sellout hoodie.
Oh, rip.
That was perfect boomerang room.
Pretty sure if you get hit by that guy, it actually makes the boomerang spawn at least 2 frames quicker.
All right, coming up here is the ball and chain trooper. Things can go wrong, so hopefully it won't.
Yeah, this guy is surprisingly dangerous, and I'm sure many people have died to him while learning this
All right,
run.
we in there. All right, I got my favorite glitch in the game, which it actually loses a second, kind of. I've frozen the boomerang on the screen, but you can kind of hear it, and it'll never come back to me ever. And it just kind of sits there, and we'll kind of walk through it. Later on, boomerang. Catch you later, brother. All right, so now Zelda is walking with the princess, whose name I still don't know. We're gonna escort her out.
I think she looks kind of like a Stacy.
Stacy. I bet you her mom is super attractive.
Yeah.
I was just going to start singing then. I was like, no, maybe not.
I'll show myself out. No more jokes here. Excuse me? How's that? Whoa! Whoa! Surf's up, guys.
Dude, are you from America?
I'm from America. We speak American. If you guys would like to read a donation, this would actually be a pretty good time.
All right, we got $10 from Metatron saying, I was running this game today, and when I came up to Mire, I contemplated whether or not to toss the bird, sorry. Then I thought, what would KRob do? Deciding that I didn't want to die to Vitreous, I ignored that thought. Instead, I froze the bird, picked him up, carried him to the edge, and tossed him in the water. I died to Vitreous anyway. Good luck on your run, Kate.
Oh, no!
Rip.
Proud of you. Donation goes to Runner's Choice. Thank you so much for the donation, Metatron.
Can we put it towards naming the Elder Scrolls character Mutt also? I don't know if that's an option, but I would like to make it
It is now.
I'll see what I can do. Good luck on your run.
Thank you. Thank you, Emma. You are the bomb. A Metatron is like the individual with whom I race this game almost every single day. So this part is the part of the first dungeon here. It's actually kind of tricky because all of these rats and bats kind of have a random movement and placement. And so you kind of just have to like react to them rather than be able to anticipate where they're going to be because they're all not fixed at all. It's kind of annoying. There's like a handful that are, but about 90% of them or more are not. All right. So that rat is also random, but I got the best RNG. And there's also nothing in the way. So that was pretty good. Yeah, I saw all these mutts right here, random.
That wasn't too bad. Could have been worse.
No, that was actually pretty good. Rip. All right, only one heart, not too bad. All right, so we've dropped the princess off here with the priest. And now we're just going to talk to him a little bit. I'm sorry, I just burped if you guys all heard that on stream. Apologies. I guess I'm not sorry, whatever. Americans are gross. It's cool. All right, so we're going to pick up the sanctuary heart here. Give us an extra heart container for the rest of the run. I'll give it a shout out whenever I have only one heart left. And
When you need it most.
all right.
Sanctuary heart says loud.
So one of the main reasons for having made no save and quit category for this was that a lot of the runners prior to me ever running this game really wanted to showcase the overworld and like some of the movement because it is quite difficult to get very good at. And so like throughout the run, rather than saving and quitting, you'll see me traversing the beautiful lands of Hyrule. Full in color now. I was doing all my practice on this CRT over there that was black and white. It was kind of a lifeless Hyrule. You'll notice me kind of wiggling my controller as I go upstairs. You can kind of increase the speed at which Link travels upstairs by mashing left and right, but I'm not good at that, so I just kind of wiggle my controller a bit, and it does the same. I'll explain this room after I do it so I don't mess it up. Alright, so if you're unfamiliar with the run, but you're familiar with this game, as you walk in that room, there's actually intended to be 4 skeletons that spawn, but there's like a 3-sided square that the game anticipates that you will cross the precipice of at some point, and it'll spawn all 4 of the Stalfos skeletons. However, if you go in through the top, which is kind of like an open end of the square, and then you throw a pot at the first one, and then you leave the square and then throw a pot at the second one. The other 2, one spawns out of bounds and one spawns like on top of a door, so then the game just assumes that they're not there in some way, and then you can just progress. It's pretty cool. It's one of the cooler looking tricks in my opinion. All right, shout outs to a Metatron again because I'm about to do a strategy that she introduced me to in this room. It's a little safer than the fastest strat, but only by like, it's like 15 frames slower, but it's way less easy to like mess up, I guess.
Yeah, there's
So
a few ways to do that room. I've tried that one and I can't do that one to save my life.
yeah, the quickest way is to kind of like brush off of the popo there and then kind of cruise to the left, but then the frame of like time that you have to get on top of the pot and pick it up is a lot smaller. I didn't want to mess it up. Alrighty. Cool. Alright, this room here, these balls that kind of launch are all random. This was a really sweet pattern, so shout outs to that. Alright, here's our first boss fight. There is a pretty nice quick kill. Let me see if I can get it here. Oh, rip. He like kind of like went off to the side.
Nice save though.
Yeah,
Troll.
that was good.
Yeah,
That was good.
That was still good.
He's like, I see how many arrows you have.
You got the swag sparkles though, right?
Oh, swag.
Every day.
Every time.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So now that we have the first pendant, we can speak to this man who no one can say the name of. If you think you can, you can't. Sorry, I just like, coughed into that. And he will give us like, the greatest item in all of Zelda speedrunning, the running boots. Everything that's in Japanese and it just says mutt. All right. So there are a couple ways that you can acquire all the rupees that we're going to need in the Dark World. I'm going to do this a very safe way that's like 2 seconds slower than the optimal route, but it's impossible to screw up. You just drop up in there, pick up 100 rupees. And now I already have like enough because there's a 5 rupee that is pretty much, and you can't miss it. All right, coolest trick in the game, spin speed. So if you press the dash button exactly 1 frame after you release a spin, and then leave a staircase, the game gets a little bit confused and thinks that you're still in the state of sprinting. Oh, troll. And, oh my god.
That's the best
And
ever.
They're earning
it'll
their
allow you to
paycheck.
continue going at the speed of the dash despite not being in a dash. So you can move all of the directions rather than just one direction and having to do it again. If you want to read a donation, you can do one now, by the way.
All right, we got 20 rupees. Just kidding. $20 from what I was saying. You good luck, Mutt. Have a good run. Also glad to see part of the FF crew on the couch. Shout out to Taco, Retroid, Sereth, and of course Kev. We're all watching and supporting you.
Shout outs to Sereth.
Yeah, man.
Also got $10 from Greenham. Yo, is this the KRob? Good luck on the run, Mutt. And beware of the rogue tomato. Save the children, toss the bird.
Oh, yeah, if you watch the Final Fantasy XII run, in which there's a mini-boss, I guess, called the Rogue Tomato, he makes a reappearance in this game.
Also, one last quick $5 from Skarsnik saying, I will donate half $1 for each chest turn. Better save all this frame, KRob.
Thanks, Scars. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the donation, guys.
All right, so we just went and picked up the Book of Medora, which allows us to read tablets that are written in like the ancient Hylian language, and we'll use it a number of times throughout the run. Something is going wild on that there.
Someone is hyped for Link to the Past tonight.
Did Sarah take his shirt off? Again? If you want to do another donation, go for it, brother.
All right, we got $5 from AR Noctis. Forgot to mention, shoutouts to HNeb, who sadly couldn't be here for this run. We miss you, man. Also, KRob, did you know a guy called Mutsky promised to donate $2 for every donation that mentions Mutt? Sorry to say this, but you're a Mutt, Kappa B.
Thank you, Noctis.
Also, we got $10 from Timon saying, Yo, Mutt, good luck on your run. Hope you, sorry. Hope you all have a great time. Keep it going. Greetings from Germany. Toss the bird.
Thanks, Timo. Yeah, shout-outs to my brother Ajneb from Belgium. He was actually supposed to be doing this run with me, but unfortunately could not make it. I'm like a very mediocre substitute. He's better looking and he has a really nice accent. I'm Texan, so it's like as like unattractive as it gets. Like howdy y'all. Yeah, you can read another one as well.
Oh, they just keep flying in.
Well, when you put a 12 out of 10 face on the
That's
ESA
what
stream.
happens.
Well, yeah, for sure. Okay, we got $20 from Anonymous saying, in honor of KRob, the biggest mutt of them all, who wouldn't be half as cool or half as funny without his amazing older sister? Go save that old bag. Zelda. Watching and supporting you. Love you, bro. From the original Rob.
Thank you, sister. Shout outs to KRob.
Also, $2 from Roma45100 saying, I accept my defeat. GG.
That's what I'm talking about.
Also, $10 from Meloths saying, hey Kev, awesome to see you running this great game at this awesome event. Here's hoping for some good old spin to win. Luck on this run.
Shout
Mutt
outs to
Hype,
Meloths.
can you please tell the PogChamp story?
The PogChamp story?
Ooh.
Oh. I'll tell you what. If someone donates $25, I'll tell you the best PogChamp story of your life that actually involves Pogs. That's your freaking incentive. You can hear about the childhood, growing up on the streets of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All right, so coming up is one of the most RNG-heavy bosses in the game. It can really go one of two ways. It can be very good or very bad. It's very seldom that I ever have one that's just average. So we'll see what happens. I picked up the wrong pod. That's good. Hopefully he's a little friendly. These are the Onyx triplets. Rip. It's fine. It's fine.
Yes, totally fine.
It's so fine.
You've still got this.
So I think they got a memo from like the knight who saw your arrows earlier. And they're like, this guy's blind. He can't shoot an arrow.
I'm just like going a bit too early. I keep going like half a second too early. Case in point. I can't see him. Okay, we're good. This is fine. All right, so that was like I said, it's really good, really bad.
But swag sparkles. it's
Yeah,
fine.
unfortunately, I can't complain about the RNG to start that fight. It was actually quite good. I just blew it. It's fine. All right, so coming up, this next trick that I will do is one of like two places that it's possible to soft lock the game. So let's not. Essentially, I want to use a whirlpool to teleport across a little bit of the high roll map. And by the way I can do that without having the flippers is to trick the game into thinking I do by transitioning the screen at the same moment that I drop in the water before it forces me to get out. And then the game assumes that because I transition the screen with the flipper or without the flippers, that but in the water, that I have in fact picked them up. Get out of the way. Rip. You have to be exactly 1 pixel away. There it is. All right, so we just gotta avoid this guy. So that's the soft lock, but it's okay. Because maybe it's not okay.
Oh, dear.
I don't actually. This has never happened before.
But,
So I have a cart with like save states on it. Is it cool if I just like boot that up and continue from there?
do you want me to grab it?
Wait. Okay, wait. No, we're fine. Okay, we're good.
The fake out,
Fix
man!
it,
Maybe.
Fix it.
That's what I'm talking about.
You got this.
Hang on. We might not be. I don't know. It's like being all crazy. Come on, Gabe. No. Why? This happens like 1 out of like 50 runs, by the way. Like, never. Okay, grab the cart. That's what we're going to have to do. What's that? Because it won't let me like pause to save and quit. And so like that, I was just going to like do the S and Q. That's fine. This kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All right, pop it in.
So this is now a segmented world record
so
attempt.
That was like the worst thing that could have happened. We're just gonna do this. Okay. Okay. Fine. I apologize for that. That was a 1 in a million. Okay. So we're just gonna start Death Mountain, I guess. So we were gonna use that whirlpool to go to the start of Death Mountain, and then come here. Now we pick up this old man.
Nice, dude.
And swap him out for the mirror. This is actually really bad, by the way. I'm kind of upset. If you want to read a donation now, you can. I'm sure people are going to have really, really interesting things to say.
I'm waiting for that 25 bucks.
Well, all right. We got $5 from Mafunian saying, "Love you, Mutt. Looking forward to the War in the North world record. Hope everyone from the FF community is having a great time. Enjoy yourselves out there." And we got $1 from Revenues saying, "Hey Kev, I just wanted to say you look like a mutt. Good luck on the run, old friend."
Thank you, Rev. Thank you, Mom.
And we have $2 from Anonymous saying, "I'll do my best to say this. Now, say my name, Sahasrara." You're goddamn right. And $5 from Kalas FR saying, "Good luck again, Mutt. Also, Retro, you should watch and learn so we can race this for real one day, Kappa B." Also, $50 from The Overseer. Good luck to my boy KRob. Stay sexy, brother. Let's see. This is $25 from Not a Mutt saying, from SNES saying, "This is so everybody can hear about how you are literally a POG champion from the worst part of Pennsylvania and also not a real Texan."
All right. So when I was a small boy, we didn't have like a lot of things. I had a large family. So my parents would buy like games for us at Christmas, and we would like share them. And one of those, which was the cheapest, were in fact Pogs. And my mother entered us all into this like actual tournament of Pogs when I was like 5, and I just kept winning, even though I was like barely a sentient being, and nobody was as good at me as Pogs, even though I was like 5. And then won match after match, and I really didn't even know what was going on. And then lo and behold, like next thing you know, I'm like in the finals, and that is how I actually became a real love Pog champ. And so then when I discovered that the Pog champ was an emote, I was like, this kid is, whoever's face that is, I don't know who it is. He's definitely never won a Pog tournament in his life. So yeah, I was a real life Pog champ in like 1995. Shout outs to Mama Rob. It feels when no Sank card, by the way. All right, so this next boss fight is like one of the other most troll boss fights in the in the game. If you get knocked off by Moldorm, his health resets and you have to fight him again. Come on. There we go.
I think we should.
Yeah, that fight, like if you get knocked off, it can be like a loss between like 30 seconds or more, depending. If you fall in the middle hole, you fall down 2 floors, you kind of have to make your way back. Okay, so now we're on our way to pick up the Master Sword.
Now, it looked like you did something about 2 minutes ago before the boss room that looked a little unintended. You kind of like glided across that one. Do you want to talk about the bomb stuff you were doing there?
Oh, the bleep. That was a bomb leap. You can use the bomb. It like kind of blasts Link's body a number of pixels across different gaps throughout the run. I'll do it a couple more times. That one isn't too difficult. There is one later that's much harder because you have a timer to do it, basically. But yeah, you can just kind of like deboost across things, and it allows us to skip a number of dungeon segments.
It's probably a good time for a donation, right?
You go for it.
Yeah.
All right, we got the $10 from Nadamat saying, "Who's that angry guy? Good luck, KRob." And we got $25 from Nova Yuna saying, "Mutt, it is story time." And we also got $10 from Scrivo saying, "Yo, 140 estimate? This guy must suck." Just kidding. Good luck, KRob. Toss the bird and remember, this is fine.
After that soft lock at 140,
Yes.
it'll still be under 140, but it'll not be what I thought it was going to be.
Also, Anonymous donated $1 saying, "Hey Rob, did you use save states to win those Pogs games as well?"
Yeah.
My mom just never told me. All right, so as you can see, like I was saying, with the no save and quit, you kind of get to see a lot of the overworld, which is kind of nice to just kind of like see like the level design. I think that as far as like a lot of SNES games that I think really hold up well, I think Link to the Past is certainly one of those. Oh, man. Okay, so now we're back where we started the game, in Aghanim's Tower, where we're going to travel and try to catch up where the princess has been taken. The strat for this room has been aptly named Serving Up Din Din, because you kind of like dinner's ready, and then hit those guys. Don't drop the fairy. Nice. For now.
Do you want to quickly tell about the doors, the key doors?
Oh, all right. So the key doors there, which I've done like 2 or 3 times already, from a certain pixel that you stand on, you can dash right through the door and it will not block off it. Because it's like, I think it's like when you're dashing, you travel like if it's like 4 pixels every frame, and if you dash from the right pixel, and it like is like equated to the like edge of the screen transition, I guess, then it just like lets you continue on through. It doesn't save a ton of time, but it's certainly like nice just for movement. Looks like that. And you don't like, you can just continue on through, it's really nice. Midnight, please. Oh, no. Okay, no, we're fine. I just realized something that we're going to have to fix because of the change. But it's okay, it's fine. All right, so this boss fight is entirely RNG based. Aghanim has 2 attacks. One is an energy ball, which you can reflect at him and damage him, which we need to do a total of 6 times. And the other is what looks like a set of blue balls, which you can block yourself, but you cannot damage him with. The first one is fixed, so this one will be an energy blast every time. And then the next 3 are a 50-50. So that was actually not very good, but alright, so this one should finish him off. So 3 was very average. Anything over 3 is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, clap for RNG.
Yeah, we should.
Alright. You guys are going to witness something that's never happened in a run before. So I picked up those 100 rupees earlier. I want to look at that rupee count. So we're going to have to take a trip back and pick those up really quick. I could have done the 3 rupees, but I had forgotten that I didn't have them anymore.
So do you want to talk about some of the shenanigans you're pulling with the boomerang and collecting extra items?
Oh, yeah, dude. You can pick up multiple items with the boomerang, which I did in Aghanim's Tower. It saves like a couple frames. All right, so here's the spin speed here. And you can notice that I kind of walk a little bit slower through the high grass, so it does in fact save like a couple of frames on the screens with either water that you have to go through or grass, which is nice. Yeah, if you want to read a donation while I'm embarrassingly going back to Sahasra's house, you can.
All right, we got $1 from Scrivo saying, "Oh, one more thing, KRob, rupees for Kiki."
Thanks for the shout out. I'm not used to seeing these nights ever. Holy lag, too. That's brutal lag, actually. Okay. So what's up, buddy? We're back, man.
You said it was about seeing the scenery in the world, right?
Now that we're here, I'm actually going to get these 2.
Yeah, you might as well get everything now.
Okay. I'm actually not going to do the spin speed because I don't really know what the enemies are like here. Do you know that there's
so
a
much lag
that
around
lag
there.
is brutal, yeah.
That's awful.
Oh no, wait, where did I put it at? I put it up. Okay, I know it's at now. All right, we're good. Okay, so now we're gonna go to Palace of Darkness. All right, so we get followed by this monkey who's named Kiki. She wants 10 rupees. She's like, give me 10 rupees and I'll help you out. And then we take her over here to this palace with monkeys on it. And then she's like, oh, by the way, you can give me 100 more rupees and I'll actually help you out. And then she'll unlock this door here and then we can progress through into the dungeon. If you want to read a donation, go ahead.
All right, we got $25 from what I assume is Swedish Swedish, which says 50 spänn, which is like $50, but Swedish currency. It's dangerous to go alone. Here, take this.
It's dangerous to go alone. Thank you. All right, so this dungeon, first half is just picking up enough keys so that we can pick up the big key. There are a couple of ways you can do it. I'm going to drop down here first, pick up this guy, mirror back out. Oh, we're good on arrows, too. All right, so now we've got the big key. We can head on to the second segment of the dungeon. All right, so this is like the hardest trick in the game. It involves 2 pixel perfect alignments, which I think I had the first time. I might be a pixel low actually, which is kind of depressing. Come on, okay. Yeah, I was 1 pixel low. Oh my gosh, I'm dumb. Don't worry, we're good, we're good. It was an impulse. That was like a total impulse to like mess it up and reload the state. There you go.
This one's like not pro.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Don't worry, we're right there. Okay. No, we're good. We're good. Okay, there we go. I was like really I'm far away from it.
First try.
Well done.
First
yeah,
try.
First try. That is a really hard trick though, because you have 2 pixel perfect tricks in a very short space of time, and you have the time constraint of the tiles falling as well. So that takes a really long time to learn that trick, and I would probably say most people agree that is one of the hardest tricks in the game. So that was just really unfortunate.
All right, so here's the rogue tomato. He doesn't want to be a rogue today, though. He's just hanging out. All right, so in this room, these are called mimics because they all mimic your move wherever way you go. And then we're just going to kind of put some arrows into them and cruise on through to the next part here. You'll notice that there's no music playing right now. That'll be like that until I can get out of this dungeon. This is like one of the longest breaks in the game. All right, so now we have the hammer. We can place down on any of these pegs that are in our way in the rest of the run. There's not too many of them. We will run into them some. So we can do this here. Alright, so that's La Fiesta de las Tortugas. Little turtle party going on. And now we can head into one of the most dangerous boss fights in the game because of how little health you have. He's got pretty heavy RNG, so hopefully he'll be friendly. Because it'd be nice to have something go right. Okay, no, that's bad. Yep, we're fine.
Oh wow.
So if he like rushes you like that, like you can't do anything.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. He just got stuck against the wall there.
Because in his first cycle, he can only do either the tail or the fireball. And in the second cycle, he can do both simultaneously. And whenever he like pins you against the wall and you can't move, because you'll take damage from his body or the fireball or the tail, it's like you're kind of just stuck. And it's one of the worst deaths in the game because you have to travel the whole way back through, and it's about a minute to a minute and a half time loss. It's not cool at all. I'm actually gonna pick some arrows now. I'd use some extra ones. We don't have to sit through this animation again, fortunately. Okay, hopefully he'll be a little bit friendlier this time. Not so much. He's like, no, I don't want to be cool at all. All right, let's try this. There we go. Here we go. All right, we in there.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, if you like get caught in the middle between both attacks and he comes up at you, it's like pick your poison essentially and just pray. All right, we should have the music back at the end of this. If not, I'll fix it.
Is that Stacy's mom?
That's Stacy's friend. We should just play the VOD from earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead and read a donation too.
We didn't get anything new, but just a while ago, I barely even realized myself, we broke the 20K.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
Shout outs to everybody who donated, and let's keep this going. Good luck on the run again, KRob.
Thank you. I could use it now. All right, if the music isn't back, I can fix it manually. All right, we back. Okay, cool. All right, now there's actually a bit of variance. If you're unfamiliar with the game, or the speedrun rather, the second dungeon that is intended to be done is the Swamp Dungeon. However, we do not do that for quite a while for a number of reasons. I want to get the Tempered Sword as quickly as I can, so I'm actually going to head straight to Thieves Town, get the Titan's Mitts so that I can pick up that sword and have a little bit of less trouble with enemies the rest of the run. All right, that right there looks pretty cool. That is an item dash. In the Japanese version only, you can press the dash button and the item use button at the same frame, and it'll allow you to dash with the item. And with the hammer, it has a cool little property that rather than having to hammer each of the pegs, it just lets you cruise right through them. And it's pretty cool because the hammer on its own is pretty slow and time wasting. So we're going to talk to this guy here. He had a little misfortune. He's got something going on. Looks like, I don't even know, kind of looks like a Dragonite head or something.
I think he looks like a mouse that lost some turtles.
And then we're going to take that shovel he got and pick up this nice ocarina here.
I think you could probably do a donation again. This is just animation for a little while.
Yeah, we got $5 from Timon saying, hey, can we get some love in the chat? Unexpected stuff can happen at marathons. Keep it up, KRob.
Rip chat. So this guy here, we call him Usain Bolt because he is like the fastest guy in the game. He'll just like run you down. And now we're going to use the flute to pick up the Swag Duck, who will pick us up and carry us to where we need to go a number of times in the run.
So a couple of times already you've discussed using the mirror. Do you want to talk about the properties of it?
The mirror, I mean, it has a number of uses. You can obviously warp to and from the light and dark world. You can also use it to warp to the beginning of dungeons like I did a number of times in the Palace of Darkness. And it can also, there are a number of blocks that you can kind of erase off of the map and just like walk past them, which I won't do a whole lot, but I will do. Alright, so now we're going to head to the back to the dark world and go to Thieves Town, like I said, and pick up the Titan's Mitts. This actually used to be my least favorite dungeon to do in the run because I was awful at it for a while, and then after I kind of picked it up, it's actually become my favorite by far. There's a lot of cool rooms in it. And the boss is also quite interesting. So that guy that I just kind of stopped my dash there, he can snipe you pretty easily, which is why I backed off. They do quite a bit of damage for this point of the game. Alright, in the following room here, there is a pixel perfect trick you can get if you get a good RNG to accompany it. I'll try my best for you. Alright, I got the pixel perfect trick and the RNG.
Oh,
Nice.
So that saves about 5 seconds over if you have to do a number of dashes. It's called the God Pixel, obviously because it's just like the God task. You just kind of cruise on through. It's pretty sweet. You can read a donation if you would like.
All right, we got $5 from SNES saying, how much do I have to donate to get Sereth to stop being Sir Grump and start being Sir Hype instead?
Probably like $420. He'll be Sir Chill. Little Patrick Star is getting in the way. All right, so we're gonna pick up this maiden here who looks like one of Stacy's friends. However, Zelda isn't for a big surprise, unfortunately. All right, so here we're getting the Titan's Mitts, which will allow me to pick up a stone that I need to in order to get the next level sword really early, which is super, super helpful. We're coming up on the next boss fight here. This used to be like my arch nemesis in the run. His name's Blind. He's quite a tricky fight for beginners, but there is a pattern to him. I'll see if I can nail that here, hopefully.
So just looking at this fight from like a normal perspective, it looks incredibly random. You've got every time a cycle ends, his head comes off and you start moving around the room.
Shout outs.
The heads also shoot like little balls, red balls at you as well, and they all do that in every cycle. You get more heads and more balls, and they just seem to be flying in random
The longer the
directions,
fight goes on, the more difficult it becomes.
But it is all actually scripted. It doesn't look like it, but it is all scripted.
If you want to read a donation, if you got one, looks like you do.
Sure, we got $5 from, sorry if I butchered this, but Bloater Fooch? I don't really know. The drama and excitement is why I love speedrun marathons. It's always great to see a Zelda game run, and a load to the past has always been my favorite. I assume he's talking about the cart.
What cart?
Is that better? Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to go into 2 houses surrounded around the area of the Tempered Sword to pick up 300 rupees in each one. This will give me the money to buy the flippers so I can actually have them. Not that faking them helped at all earlier. So we're going to pick up this toad here. Call him Scrivo. I believe that's Scrivo's Discord picture. And when you warp back to the light world, we'll see that he is in fact a small Dumbledore-looking dwarf who has a friend. They make swords, apparently. So first we have to give him the 10 rupees to make it for us, and then if we have to warp back to the dark world, and then essentially just warp back to the light world, and it'll be ready. We can kind of stand in the doorway here and just head on in. Alright, if I get this fence dash, dude bro will be so proud.
It was worth a try.
Oh, I tried every
Every
run,
time.
even though it saves like a very negligible amount of time.
And what's like the
Always worth it.
success rate on that?
Like 20% on that. So if you haven't noticed, a lot of the game and like about what your time comes from or disappears from, or disappears to, I guess rather, is just how smooth your movement is on the world map and in dungeons. Just from playing a lot, you'll kind of figure out like what pixels work well, where if you're like off by a bit or something, you have to readjust. Alright, that's good RNG. Yeah, that's the best RNG. So we got these mummies kind of stuck over there. Alright, cool. Alright, so now this dungeon's already like half over. This is, I believe, the quickest split in the entire game. If you split like at the same time as everybody. And we're going to do our next bomb jump. This is probably the easiest one. You have a pretty big window in this one. Typically, I would just drop into that hole and take the heart of damage, but for the marathon, I'd rather not. That fire snake can go left to right in that hallway, and if you're going for the key dash, you'll just dash right into it, and it's just purely RNG based. Alright, now we're coming up on the next boss fight, which is Mothula. He's usually not not too bad. So. Similar to the blonde fight. You can't hit him when he's like on that in the corners there, so he's kind of being controlled right now. This is not.
The problem is with Mothula, optimally you need to be hitting him when he's away from the edges where the spikes are.
So the programmers actually made a mistake when they programmed this game. And if you hit him into the spikes, the damage is negated and takes none. So you have to hit him into either open space or into one of the blocks. So when he was kind of trolling in either of the top left corners, all I could really do was kind of avoid the spikes and try not to take too much damage while that, until he can move to a more favorable location. Unfortunately, he kind of went over to the right side by that block and hugged it a bit.
Just being a troll today.
I PB'd earlier. So now we're going to go pick up the flippers that we have picked up the rupees for. On the way to the flippers, there is a large catfish that you can beckon by throwing an item into his lake, and that will give us the Quake Medallion, which is the first of only 2 that we'll be picking up in this category. Solely because we need it to open one of the dungeons. And, you can also soft lock here, but I'll be certain. I'll do this very, very safely. If you dash accidentally at that wall, you can slide into the lake and it'll keep resetting, and it's really annoying. As you can see, movement on water is much slower than movement on grass, so I'm going to kind of go up here and save a couple frames. So now Big Zora will come, offer us to buy his... The translation is actually not flippers, they're called finger webs, which is a pretty peculiar name. I guess if you're going to wear them as gloves, perhaps. There is a couple pixels, if you notice, it kind of looks like I'm dashing across the deeper water there. But you kind of have a little bit of a window that it still treats it like the shallows. Okay, so now we're going to be heading to the Ice Palace via this rock here. Again, now that we have the Titan's Myths, we can pick up any rock that just gets in our way. And a number of them have warps that we can use, including this one. Movement on ice is super sketch. It kind of just like makes you drift one way or the other depending on which way your momentum's going. You can dash on it, and it makes entering and exiting doors much simpler than trying to walk through them. And you can use either the hammer or the sword to kind of guide Link around and navigate him in some fashion at least. You need to be kind of cognizant of how much magic you have. You have to have a full bar of magic when you go to the boss of this dungeon, or you can't defeat him. Get out of here. That troll. Looks like I see you trying to throw a bomb. Let me just sit on it. And I will get this just in case I mess up the bomb jump. Okay. So this is another kind of tight bomb jump. Let's make it a little closer. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. We in there. Don't
Well
clap.
done.
You can read a donation too.
All right, we got $5 from Metatron again. Sorry that things haven't been going as planned, but you're handling it like a champ. Show this game who's boss and toss that bird.
Will do. So by doing that bomb jump, you'll notice I have not gotten the big key. I have not done like 2/3 of the dungeon, and now I can just pick up this guy over here and drop into the boss. It's like probably the most used and I guess most important skip in the entire game for the run, because this dungeon's pretty long. It skips several minutes of it. All right.
Alright,
Yeah, Adam.
that was nice. You got quite a bit of lag there.
Yeah, the goal is obviously to try to keep them up in that top corner, but because there's 3 of them, as soon as one of them gets out, it becomes kind of troublesome, but they're actually not too bad. So where's the text? Is this run still valid?
Oh yeah.
What's going on back there? All right, at this point, before I head on to the next dungeon, I'm actually going to pick up a couple of items that I'm going to need later on. First, I'm going to be getting the Ether Medallion, and then I will be getting the Ice Rod. No? Okay. He's like, I don't want to move. So you can kind of move as close as you can to him, and then he'll pick you up a little bit sooner than if you wait in the middle of the screen. Okay, now we're actually going to head to the Swamp Dungeon, which is what I was saying earlier is the second dungeon, or intended to be the second dungeon, and I'm doing it like, I think, 6th? All right, here's the other property I was saying about the mirror. You can kind of cancel out blocks, and then they won't be there, and then you can just kind of dash back through on the way out. It's pretty nice. It's not like a huge skip or anything, but it does save like a handful of seconds. I'm having to watch the animation of pushing all of them. You can read a donation if you have one.
All right, we got $10 from Thalietum. Sorry if I butchered that name. Thanks for such a great show, KRob16. Amazing commentary, great attitude, and you came all the way from America. Huge hype, and thanks for doing this run. I'm poor, so I can't donate more, but it's a thought that counts. Thank you so much for the donation.
So because we have gathered so many heart containers at this point, the dungeon is not that threatening because it intends for you to have the Master Sword and only like 6 or 7 heart containers, depending on how many pieces you've picked up. So this is like one of my least favorite dungeons in the game for the run. You kind of just like double back through a number of rooms, and it's not overtly complicated. So it's kind of just a lot of going through different hallways, going back through the same hallway, and then doing whatever you have to do there. This right here is one of the most important things that can ruin a run. After you hit this orb and place these blue blocks down, you have to hit it again and put them back up, which sounds simple enough, but the number of people that I've seen lose PB pace runs for forgetting to hit it again a second time, kind of, you know, not the best thing in the world. Shoutouts to Scribo. So you'll notice I've been doing the hammer dash quite a bit in this dungeon. If you can do it well, it kind of saves you from having to use frames turning and adjusting your movement in some cases. And I just like the idea of someone running around with a hammer. It seems completely reasonable.
It's just a swag move, really, isn't it?
Speedruns aren't about the time, everyone knows that. What do you want to do, buddy? Okay. Alright, so now we have the hook shot, one of the most versatile weapons or items in the game, I guess. It's my favorite item in the series. I feel like it's always like one of the most pivotal things you gather. And in this run, allows for like some sweet movement. So here, if I press dash and hook shot at the same time, I can actually put the statue on top of that skull like that, and then just pick it up and not have to adjust it at all. Hopefully he doesn't. This has actually been not a bad dungeon so far. because movement in water is so slow, even like something smaller like that, it's still typically a bit quicker to dash. And here we can do some refills for items if we need any. I'm going to pick these up just for safety's sake. Like I said, this is typically not a threatening dungeon or boss, but things have gone wrong.
You never know.
I also said that Fake Flippers was free. Whoa. Come on now, buddy. Where you want to go? Okay. Rib Zero Cycle. So like I said, he was pretty free. He's typically not a huge problem. I got one cycle there, it's not too bad. And it was pretty quick as well. All right. We're approaching my favorite part of the entire game. If you want to read a donation during this text, that'd be great.
Sadly, no comment. We just got an anonymous $100 donation, which
Shout
is
out
pretty sick.
Anonymous.
And remember, for each dollar, the U.S. government is gonna match it up 10 times that dollar. So that $100 is $1,000. Thanks.
This is the longest text in the game. It's about a minute from Crystal to the end, a little more in a bit. Okay. When I was in 7th grade, I had a crush on this girl named Casey Benton. I went to her pool party, and I was abruptly picked up by some bully from my junior high school who threw me into the pool and ruined my phone, my wallet, my dignity, and my chances of ever dating Casey Benton. And this donation incentive, which was met fairly quickly, is a shout out to him. Pete Casterly, I hope you're watching, buddy. Come on, we need to aggro him, kind of. Aggro him. Right there, perfect. All right,
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
bird is the word. All right, so for anyone that's ever been thrown in a pool at Casey Benton's house, this one's for you. We'll do a little traipse around with him. So shout outs to Pete Cass. Later, man.
What's up, lad?
And shout outs to my boy Walrus Prime for doing it on accident and me loving every minute of it. Let's try this. If I would have got that one, it wouldn't have been that bad. If you have another donation, you can do it now. All right, in this dungeon, I will be tanking a bit of damage against the boss, so I'm gonna try to like do my best to reserve all my hearts, especially because since the soft lock, I no longer have the sanctuary heart, so I gotta be a little more careful. I do all my practice with this many hearts though, so it should. So when you're pushing these blocks, the game kind of like doesn't really recognize them as objects, and so you're able to fire rod or hook shot through them, which makes it so you don't really have to solve the puzzle that's intended here. You can just kind of push a couple of the blocks and then continue. And then we get to watch this massive earthquake for a couple of seconds, and these whisk robes that are just hanging out. cane of Samaria, which is probably my second favorite item in the game. You can create blocks with it and also create like platforms later on. Maybe if these guys kind of cooperate a little bit. That's fine. I've taken a little bit more damage than I would like. I've taken well, like 1 heart more than I would have liked, so hopefully the rest will be smooth and it should be okay then. Maybe even get one from somebody. That's okay. Alright, here I'll be performing a cane dash. So I'll kind of dash with the cane and then it'll shoot up and hit that and I don't have to walk over to it. That's pretty cool. See if he wants to. There is a heart you can pick up over here that I'm going to get just in case things go south. Like such. This is like my least favorite boss in the game, so hopefully I'm going to have to play it kind of safe here. I only have a lot of hearts to... Each eyeball will do 4 hearts of damage if it hits you, so you don't really have a lot of wiggle room at all, obviously. There we go. So you're supposed to like go into the acid and kind of tank some damage there, but obviously I didn't have nearly enough hearts to do it. That was probably where I was most afraid of wiping though, so I'm glad that didn't happen. All right, so we only got 2 dungeons left now. They're probably 2 of the most complicated and convoluted. That was kind of a combination of those 2 words. But they're also 2 of my favorite dungeons to play through. Anyone that's played this game casually probably also enjoyed them. All right, and now the spin dash can actually be replaced with the hook shot. It kind of has a similar property for the same reason. The game thinks that because you're being hook shot at that speed, that you're going at that speed. So when I get off here, until I get by that, you can travel at the same speed as the dash. It's much, much simpler and not nearly as long an animation. Death Mountain has like a ton of RNG with the rocks and the squirrels. Their only job is to ruin your life. Friendly fairy. These guys are... I can't actually go through right now. Okay, there we go. If you hit them, you notice they turn into stones, and where they were both at, if you hit them in their position, they would just freeze in front of the like little corridor there, and you can't progress, and you just have to wait or leave the screen. All right, here it is. The Tortuga Rock. And so we kind of went out of our way a bit to pick up the Quake Medallion. This is the one and only time that you'll see it used, just like the Ether. Bombs. Oh, we're doing bombs. And so like I said, you can use the cane here and you can see it create a little platform.
Do you want to explain how the hook shot works?
Oh, so
Like going
that's
through
actually
the
a good
rolling
point.
pin.
So you can use the hook shot animation as like a buffer through objects that are moving that would inflict damage, and it kind of has you in the state of the hook shot, so then the damage is not calculated and you don't take any, and it's super useful at a couple points, especially with those rollers.
And you've got different properties of the hook shot. Depending on what asset you actually hit with it, it'll either bring objects to Link, he'll go to them, or it'll just cancel out completely.
Those chomps, like, I want to be in the way. That was really good until he moved, but I mean, it was still not bad at all. That is like a super RNG heavy room, and the chomps hit you for 4 hearts. And so it's like easy to put yourself in a bad spot for the rest of the dungeon, because the game is intended for you to have had the blue tunic at this point, which would lessen the damage Link's taking. But obviously with the green tunic, that's not the case. And so anything that bodies me can put me in a bad spot pretty quickly. All right, so now we just gotta kind of maze around here and pick up the big key for this dungeon. Hitting all the switches today. Shout outs to Blunt Bunny. DKC. Surf's up, bro. Wow! Got for those tidal waves, Blunt. If you have a donation you need to read, you can do it now.
All right, we got $25 from an old friend of ours, Mr. MV. Hey, I wasn't logged on G4G, so there you go. I was the $100 donation. Keep going at it, guys. Amazing effort. LTTP is so good.
Thank you, Mr. MB. Shout outs to you, man. Appreciate it.
Also, we got $1 from B saying, "Hey guys, I am broke. I am a broke fool right now, but I'm donating $1 for Kev to tell Tiger a joke."
To tell Tiger a joke?
What about if we, can we put a donation incentive for like the Luca Tony song?
He can shout out, yeah, we can get him there. Luca, wanna hear a good joke? What's the biggest city in your home country? Was it also a donation incentive to name the character of that city? Shout outs to that, man. Rip Roma.
Also, we got $4 and
To be fair, sorry, not to cut you off. If any of you are confused about my friend here, who they were talking about, he was voted most swiped right on Twinder at ESA 2015. So ladies, if you're looking for an Italian stallion, Luca Tenteri, follow him, twitch.tv, tiger_94.
We got a $4.02 donation from SNES saying, "My favorite part of this run is when you named Zelda Mutt and couldn't remember Princess Samus's name. This is for all the hype."
That's kind of a tight window there with those lasers, and the rogue tomato there is giving me a little trouble. You can, you're intended to have the mirror shield and use it to deflect the lasers, obviously, but there is like a small window that it looks like it's kind of like hitting you in the head, but it's actually like slightly above you, and you can just dash through it. All right, this next boss is named Trinex. He does in fact have 3 necks. They were really original with the naming. It's kind of a good spot for him to be. Okay. As long as he doesn't troll me, this should be fine. But if he hits me with his head, I will die with how many hearts I have right now. Okay. I played that safe, so I wouldn't get eaten alive there. This is a kind of a peculiar one. He's the only boss fight in the game that the heart container that he drops actually drops in the center of the room and not where he's killed. It's kind of like a weird mechanic. I don't really know why it's like that though.
I was going to say that this boss is a lot harder than it looks because we use the ice rod and the fire rod to stop the heads doing the shooting out. One shoots out fire and one shoots out ice, and the ice one lays a path of ice across the floor, which just makes it difficult for movement. So yeah, you didn't see any of that because obviously KRob's using the ice rod and the fire rod on the opposing heads.
If you go in from the back like I did, you can get a quick kill on the first phase, and you won't be able to cast either of those attacks. But if you're newer and approach from the front, it's much more likely that you'll see one or the other depending on what you do. All right, one more swag speed for the round here. And now we're heading into Ganon's Tower, which is the final dungeon in the game. I wish we had like one of those, the bathrooms have like these Dysons. Just put my sweaty hands in them. Just blow them up. If you want to do a donation quick, you can do it really quick before we get into the dungeon much.
Super quick one right here from Hollow648. Hollow is a mutt and couldn't figure out how to donate, so we did it for him. He's super generous too. Hollow face. Thank you so much for the donation.
Hollow face.
Hollow is a fellow Southerner. So I have 3 keys now, which there are a number of keys you can pick up through the dungeon. These are just the 3 that I favor to get. There are a couple of different routes that people do. There's one at the end that you can pick up that a number of people do, but I prefer to get the first one because it's not threatening at all. Maybe I can do this. If you hit that warp, it's not the end of the world. It just wastes some time because you have to walk through another one and watch 2 warp animations. But like I just did there, you can just kind of bonk over it. And there's an invisible floor there that I kind of jumped over a small gap. Looks like you can like come out. So. All right, this fight's very important, and I'll explain why after. All right, so it was
Nice.
It was recently discovered, not too long ago, that someone found. I would love to tell you who it was because it's an incredible find. That if you finish that fight under a certain amount of time, essentially, that the Ganon fight, there's like these fire bats that will appear that you'll see later on, and if you do that fight properly, they're the same every time, and so it's just you can anticipate what it's going to look like as long as that fight goes well. All right, not making too bro proud. These are like two of the trickiest rooms in the game. Runners will spend hours practicing these. He's trapped. This is fun. Until I move too soon. All right, that was actually not very great, but it wasn't terrible either. We have time for a quick one too.
All right, $10 from Toju. Hey Kev, missed most of the run, but I heard you were a mutt and soft-locked the game. I know you're planning on making it up with some sweet moves on Ganon, right? Good luck for the finish, and shoutouts to everyone in the Final Fantasy community.
All right, I'm gonna pick up. There's some fairies in here. I'm gonna pick up. 7 hearts is more than enough to finish the game, but just for the sake of the marathon, I would rather not die. At this point, any death prior to Ganon is the worst death you can possibly have, because you have to redo this entire segment of the dungeon, which I obviously don't want to do. This section's called the Gauntlet. Every single screen you'll see me going through here is essentially you progress by defeating all the enemies on the screen. And some of them have quite a bit of RNG. Like this one's probably the worst. I might kill this skeleton without hitting him right there. There's like a small frame of windows, or pixels rather, that it thinks the fire rod hits that skeleton. I'm not exactly certain why, but it's like free. Alright, so that's the Lamolus refight. It's a lot simpler with the fire rod than with the arrows, obviously. These next couple rooms have a couple of cool tricks. This is the reason I like the cane. Whoever developed these strats is awesome. That room is not as bad as the next one, but the next one's one of my favorite rooms in the game. Let's not jinx it though, I guess. Yeah, it just looks, I don't know. I just like the way it looks with the cane, because it's one of my favorite items. Back to the classic, light all the torches. Alright, so we only have one more refight left, which is obviously the Moldorm fight. Now that we've refought the Armos Knights, as well as the Lamolus. He too is a bit easier with the Tempered Sword. But they did not take out the possibility of falling. But it's not nearly as costly on the refight as it is in the OG Moldorm fight. Alright, that was really good. Alright, this time Aghanim will have like 2 clones, and they'll all shoot blasts, so you kind of just have to be good at geometry, and everyone knows math sucks, so I'm not good at geometry. Oh, we'll get the triple, we'll take it. This section. 3 cycle would be actually pretty good. Alright, so that's the second best fight you can have.
Alright, final boss coming up.
I was trying to help him up with my sword, by the way.
That's right. Even Bucks
My
did that
bad.
too.
It's RNG manipulation, that.
I was going to risk it for the last hit, but... And just in case I suck again.
Okay, so he's doing the same thing with the I forgot the name of it. The hook shot. That's it.
Rip. All right, so now we're heading in. This is the second to last phase. You're intended to have the gold and silver, the gold sword and the silver arrows for this fight, but there is a way to hit him with this by spinning with the tempered sword that'll damage him as well. Gotta get this torch right here. Okay. So now that I've lit the left torch before the right one went out, and now the right one will never go out. It is possible to do it without that, but it takes a heck of a lot longer because you have to really time all of your lighting. If he goes to the far top right corner, it's like really difficult to get there. And that's Ganon.
Yeah, buddy.
And then we just got to cruise on up and pick up our Triforce. So GG. Yeah, if you have any more donations to finish it up, knock it out.
Got a pretty good one here. $2 from Odin's Fall. Shoutouts to my main mods, KRob, Metako, Retroid, and Seth. GG KRob, and good luck Taco.
Yeah. After this, there will be some Zelda to complete this little block of Zelda. That will be the 4 swords. So stick around for that. And then shortly after that, my man Matako here will be running Soten. So definitely stick around for both those runs. Thank you guys all for hanging out and sticking through it. Soft lock and all.